Well, did that.
Oh,
You did that thing where he said, "I don't know what that dude," and then I said, "I don't know what that brother." And he said, "Well, I don't know what that dude." And I was like, "I don't know what that brother."
and that's it. Me and Kev, we don't care.
It's going to be 9 hours of me doing that. And he said, "I don't know what that dude." I said, "I don't know what that brother." And he said, "Oh," and I went, "I don't know what that dude." That's all. That's all I've been doing since the last time we talked.
9 hours of that, and occasionally I'm going to say, "This is it." If I take one more step,
Furthest step in from home.
furthest I've ever been from home. Come on, Sam. I don't know about that, brother.
I don't know what that dude.
We can totally merge these together, man.
In my version of Lord of the Rings, Samwise is played by Cartman. He's like, "Furthest from home."
Man. I was playing Stick of Truth the other day, and anyone that's played the Stick of Truth can tell you, like, God, you didn't get very far, which I don't. I can never stay locked in long enough to actually play. But it's in the very beginning, man, and you make your character, and you go talk to Butters, and you become buddies with him. And then he takes you to Eric's house, and Eric's explaining to you all the backstory about, this is our most sacred relic, the Stick of Truth. And when he says it, it's so stupid, but it's exactly with the voice you're talking to. It's, don't gaze upon it too long. It's like, that's as far as I can get because I laugh too much. Don't gaze upon it for too long. It's awesome.
I don't know if there's ever been a South Park-based game that I could play at all.
It's weird, man. They are
going back to 64.
I never played. That's the Stick of Truth's the only one I ever picked up, and I need to just take it to the store and see what I can get for it because I'm just never gonna. I'm bad. I'm just never. I know I'm never gonna play it. I've already locked in on stuff that I'm playing, and unfortunately, I think man. I think I mentioned it on here. I wound up getting a couple of the Final Fantasies I didn't have, and man, I can't get off Warcraft long enough to give them any time. I feel bad. I'll get there eventually. They're not going anywhere. They're going to live here. But the ones that I don't ever play, it's like, dude, take that stuff back to the store, man. There's no need for you to hang on to that. It's fine.
Cash in, brother.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
Before they're all gone, get to the GameStop.
Yeah, seriously, man. 7 cents the best I can give you.
Yeah. 7 cents and a smack across the mouth because I like you.
Yeah, seriously, you guys, I like your face. I'm gonna punch you in the teeth.
Here you go.
Yeah, I don't know about that, dude. One basket.
Complimentary.
Complimentary. Yeah, complimentary GameStop 2-piece.
Yeah. What for?
What for? They know what for.
It's just one of those deals that I keep hearing every week. Like, for the past 3 years, all GameStop's gone, and they're still hanging in there around here. So I don't know what's up.
Yeah, I'm not sure where all the GameStop is going out of business stuff comes from. I'm with you. I hear it all the time too, but I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen one close yet.
I think part of the deal is I guess they tried to go Starbucks on that ass, and having one in the mall and then one in the shopping center right outside the mall probably wasn't that good of an idea. But so I'm sure some of them are going, but they not around here yet.
Yeah, seriously, man. I'm with you. All the ones that I know of around here, they're Dory. They're just Dory.
Yeah. Trying to become what I said somebody should do for years is become the Think Geek store. And they did that, and they proved that probably wasn't such a good idea either. Going too hard into the figures and stuff, and T-shirts and all the stuff you can shove up your butt that nobody wants.
Yeah, I wish that wasn't the case. I'm with you. I wish people would like one-stop shop for things like that. But one of the big problems with all that niche stuff, man, is, dude, we're all going to get it off the internet anyway. It's one of the things that I thought Hot Topic actually got right with all the Bullet Club crap is, I mean, you walk in the store and get them. They had a million of them, but, dude, it was their website, man. They made that thing work. It's all good. Sorry, on the subject of the Bullet Club. There was something I'd mentioned, but without mentioning it to you earlier, there was something that went down on AEW Dynamite this week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm stoked about. I was so happy about, and I haven't heard anyone else talk about it, so we'll talk about it. And it's
Yeah.
this. All I mean by I haven't heard anyone else talk about it is I could be reading too much into it, but this is
Mm-hmm.
what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man, I'm all drainy. And no, it's not that Cody's back. Yay, Cody's back. Cool. He filmed his game show. Now he's back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about throwing him in with Brody Lee and all that immediately. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like I said, as long as the TNT title eventually winds up with MJF, that's cool because that's who I want to see win it, and then I want to see Jungle Boy take it off of him. I think all that'd be cool. And this is, dude, that's 2 years worth of booking. You don't have to move
Yeah.
the stuff that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we talked about one of the things I liked about the TNT title, and one of the things I liked about Cody having it was the way they had booked it. You got a TV match every week. You got new people. You've got independent guys coming in. That was awesome because you know you're going to get a quality match on TV every week, and that's real cool. I love Brody Lee, but it's like he's not that kind of champ.
Mm-hmm.
No reason not to give him the title, and you already did.
Mm-hmm.
So, how about we just move the spirit of the TNT title over to the tag belts because our best workers have them anyway? And that's exactly what I got out of that Tully promo. Down to
Yeah.
like 20-minute matches and stuff like that. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
they literally are making the tag titles the weekly televised workers titles. And I shouldn't say
Cool.
weekly because it's not the TNTs. It's not like you got to do it every week, but you can do it. I just think that's really cool between the TNT title, the women's championship, and the tag titles. You've got a lot of stuff that you can defend on TV every week. And so you've always got like championship stakes, or at least 3 times a month. And then one time, if you want the world title, okay, there's really no need for that because it's just my opinion. I'm getting way sidetracked. I think the AEW championship is, I don't know. I just don't care because I'm not a Moxley guy, but also, if it's not the case, if Moxley doesn't have the Randy Orton step in print in his contract, I don't know what they're doing. Because unless
Yeah.
he gets to be like, oh, that guy's hot, I'm going to beat that guy this week. Oh, you brought Brody Lee in? I'm beating that guy. Eddie Kingston, he cuts the best promo in AEW. I'm beating that guy. I mean, it's every single time he defends,
Yeah.
he's beating somebody way too early for them to get beat. And it sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I don't understand this junk at all. And also the freaking submission to beat Eddie Kingston. That, come on, that's trash. That's
Yeah.
crap, dude. So anyway, but Eddie's the man, and his promos really are good. And it's just
Yeah.
cool. I just think it sucks that everybody gets lost to Moxley damn immediately. And I guess that, that'll be the thing to get Eddie back over. He'll have to beat Cody in 3 minutes because it worked for Brody Lee. Anyway, man, I got way sidetracked. I'm sorry about that. But the tag titles being on TV all the time, those guys getting television matches all the time, man, I'm thrilled about both those things. And if we can take it the one step further, which is, hey, we brought in the NWA World Champion to wrestle our champion. So that worked out good. And by the way, Thunder
Yeah.
Rosa's like animal tribute was freaking nuts cool.
Yeah.
God, that was cool, man. So ultimately, FTR versus the Briscoes is everything in my life. That's what I'm trying to get to. So if
Yeah.
you're going to do the TV title match or style thing, and you want to open the door and bring guys in, holy crap, that would be sick. And
Yeah.
I love it because I remember talking about that. Like, it's not that Brody Lee shouldn't be the TV champ. It's just I don't know what you do with that belt now because you don't want him to be on TV every week. And I
Yeah.
figured maybe you have this gauntlet thing where you work your way through the Dark Order, but this is way better. What they came up with is incredible. It's like, nah, man, TV matches for titles is really, really cool. But we have the one named after the TV station, but it doesn't have to be that one. I'm like, oh, it doesn't have to be that one. That's great.
Yeah.
It's so cool, man.
Yeah. Nice to see you too, Tully.
I see you too, Tully.
Now you best get to step before you get your ass wet.
I'll tell you what, though, man, if they get Jay Briscoe and Eddie Kingston in the same company, don't let them cut promos the same week. Because if you let those guys cut promos the same week, oh my God, MJF, he's the best promo. MJF is such a great promo. No, I mean, Eddie Kingston and Jay Briscoe in 2020 can make you believe that what they're saying is real. They can actually convince you that Eddie Kingston's going to beat the crap out of that guy. It's 2020. Don't
Yeah.
none of us not know? All of us know the stuff ain't real. But those are the guys that'll make you doubt. MJF
Yeah.
don't make you doubt. MJF is fantastic bell to bell because the stuff I like about him we've talked about. I love his work, but I just get really tired of hearing about great heel promos. There's no such thing as a great heel promo, man. Rock retired those. Didn't somebody tell you? Because
Yeah.
now everybody, whether they're scripted or not, they all sound scripted. But
Mm-hmm.
man, that's just Eddie Kingston. We might have talked about this, but Eddie was on the podcast with Aubrey and Tony, and it was
Yeah.
real cool. They were talking to him about his promo style. And, man, you're so good. What's your trick? I thought this was amazing. I'd never heard anybody say this before. He was like, the thing about cutting promos is the thing that works for me is everything that I say about my opponent, that's the work. Everything you say about yourself is shoot. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that makes it work. And I'm like, holy crap, that's a neat little rule of thumb. I never would have thought of it, but when he says it, I'm like, wow, that's really excellent, man. That's cool.
Yeah. That's it works.
Yeah.
It I dig all his stuff.
Yeah, Eddie's cool. I'm with you. I had missed all of his Impact stuff, and then he showed up in the NWA, and I'm like, man, I love this kid. Holy crap! And now I'm thrilled. Showed up to challenge for the TNT title, and now he's sticking around. It's cool, man. It's
Heck yeah.
cool. But the sorry, I think we're going to see lots of revival matches on TV. So I'm so happy, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome development.
Plenty to look forward to.
Holy crap, dude. But unfortunately, I don't remember what else I saw. I saw the tag match with all the women, which was cool because actually all four of them I think are pretty good, but three of them are. Eva Lisa is the only one I've seen her a couple of times and she's good, but I don't know a ton about her. But man, Diamante and Sheeta and Thunder Rosa is just Thunder Rosa is too bad. She is awesome. So I'm like, okay, all right, the division has good people to talk about now. This is cool. All right, man.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
We've been waiting on.
Yeah, man. It's that show is. I think the show is quietly doing really well, especially when it comes to long term booking. Because Corny bitches about it all the time, but it's like, dude, Vince made all of us forget what it looks like. I mean, this whole like tiered thing where you've got 3 or 4 potential places that you can take 5 or 6 or 7 different people. When's the last time we saw anything like that in wrestling? And that's WCW too. That's not just Vince. It's like, man, this is cool, man. This is interesting to map it out and think about it like that. That's cool. Some of it's cool, some of it's crap, but I know we talked about.
When it's really good, it's really good. When it's not, it's kind of well, it's fast forward.
yeah. Anytime you go swinging for the creative fences, it's going to be like that. We talked about that, I think, with Inland Empire. I put that on the other day and was watching it, and I'm like, I'll probably never make it all the way through this movie ever again. And I hate saying that because I love Dave, but it's just that one's like, it's weird. Sometimes we were talking about it because of I'm thinking of ending things, and it's like, yeah, man, there's certain people, man, when they're off the leash, you get really, really unique things. And as far as wrestling goes, man, considering that it never stops and there is no ending, there's no way they bitch and moan about, well, the attitude they just hot-shotted territories. What they did was they hot-shotted it, hot-shotted the territory. You do realize that the timeline in pro wrestling is infinite. You go on forever. It's like, you really think that stuff's going to be great all the time forever? There's no way. There's no way, man. Something's going to be crap. I'm with you. I think that's the case with most cards. I don't remember the last time I saw a wrestling bill where I liked everything, and that's okay because I like very particular things. So it's like, I don't know, man. That doesn't all have to be the ones that, like I say this a lot, man. I think that Super J Cup 1994 is such a fantastic show, start to finish, and in a lot of ways, that's the end of it because it's what every indie show has tried to be since then, where it's just endless kickouts and awesome moves, and it just goes on and on and on. But the thing is, with J Cup, you were building to the main event. You knew who was going to win, obviously, because that's how wrestling works. But I don't know. It still had that classic thing where it's this weird thing of like every show looks like J Cup 94, but everybody wants to be Shawn Michaels. Oh, I got to go out and steal the show. Not if you're in match 3, you don't.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid. I hate that. I hate that stuff. That's the one thing they complain about routinely that I do agree with is I wish that everybody would get together and be like, Jungle Boy's doing the dive spot.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone needs a dive spot, man. And the dive spot's stupid because anymore, I'm telling you, I think that the AEW commitment, the AEW roster-wide commitment to the dive is like the Young Bucks commitment to the super kick. Because that started as a joke, man. They would do the super kick, then the other one would do it, then they do it together, and then they just kept doing it. And crowds would be like, "Man, is that all you guys do?" So they went out and had a match where it was the only thing they did. They went out and kicked the guy in the face, tagged the other one in, kicked the guy in the face, and they just did it back and forth like it was like Samwise Gamgee. It's just 1,000 times, and it was just an F you to that guy. And I'm like, it would not surprise me if that's why you're seeing dives in everything now. It's just like, oh, that's what we do. Okay.
Get together, and only one match or one promo has to go beat somebody up in the front row.
Yeah, man.
That they did. I think that was like 2 weeks ago, but even that, it was like one of those things that I heard people complain about. Yeah, I noticed that too, but it just happened a few minutes ago.
Seriously, man, it's like, dude, come on now. I hate that stuff, man. And it was kind of like, I feel bad actually because with Matt Hardy getting his face knocked off. And it's weird, we don't talk about that anymore, but yeah, I think to be fair, I think Marty and Sarah talked about it. They're like, we need to get Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara far away from each other. There's a curse on that match, and I'm like, I think you guys are right. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. But after he busted Matt Hardy's face open, and Moxley had his little bitch hissy fit, and so, I was supposed to bleed in the main event. I'm a blood champ. I want blood. I could be totally wrong, but that guy just seems like such a crybaby to me, man. And it's like, okay, it's in your contract. You get to beat it. I'm champion. I beat everybody. John Moxley, that's what he seems like to me. He just seems like a very insecure, living the gimmick, which is the saddest thing. My God, there's nothing more sad than a guy that has to tell you what a badass he is and then needs you to pat him on the ass and say, oh, it's true. It's totally true. Sad. It's like we talk about with then there's the other side of that where there's like Kurt Angle, who is a complete punchline most of his career because who's going to mess with that guy? Yeah. There's Shayna Baszler, who, like I said, there's the video of Shayna Baszler just going around scaring Dakota Kai while she's on Twitch that should not be as entertaining as it is, but it is. Then there's the other video about Matt Bloom jumping out from behind the door. And I think I finally figured out who it is that jumps out and scares Shayna. I think it's Peyton Royce, I think. Okay. But Peyton Royce has got more guts than I do because Shayna Baszler, I'm like, man, if her fight or flight instinct is more fight than flight, you're in the hospital. It's like, why would you do that to Shayna Baszler? What are you doing?
I think everybody plans on flight being the response. That's not everybody's reflex.
Seriously, they call
some people are like,
they call it one or the other for a reason. It's like, oh my. Yep. But yeah, it's like, it's one of the funniest things about it, man, is it's twofold. Like, Shayna's a great sport about it, but she's sitting there like this, and it was like, you're about to knock her out. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure, the only reason I keep saying I think it's Peyton Royce is because who the heck else looks like Peyton Royce? Yeah. Fresh out of the locker room, man, no makeup, hair in a bun because she's working out, but it's like Peyton Royce usually looks like Peyton Royce. Mm-hmm. But she's very, very smart.
Not many people look that good.
Seriously, it's like you're right. That's the thing, man. I'm pretty sure that's who that is. But so she jumps up behind the door and Shayna gets paused and all that stuff, man. But I'm pretty sure it's Peyton is just like the whole time she's moving away from her, like, yeah, it's funny, but I don't want to die. Like, she's smart, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Bad move.
Seriously. You know what, Mr. Bloom? I don't need this job that badly. Goodbye.
I think I'm going home.
For real. I'm not coming back because I think Shayna's mad at me, and I don't like that. I don't like it.
I'm not down with that.
I can't get down with that. This is an unsafe work environment because my boss is trying to have me scare the scariest person in the company, and that's just nonsense.
I don't want that, dude.
That's for my boss, Matt Bloom, wants to see me beaten to death. It would give him great pleasure, apparently.
I think that's going to be an issue with HR.
I'm taking it up with HR.
Yes.
Oh, man, I just thought of something. Dude, they should have cast this a long time ago. With the obsession with backstage segments, why in the world has nobody done a segment called Michael H.R. Hayes, where they go in and talk to Michael Hayes about the unsafe work environment and all the stuff on the show that ticks them off? That would be awesome, man.
Oh man,
I really wish they'd done that. Michael H.R. Hayes.
his solution and everything to every issue is like, well, and then what? I got an idea.
I think that'd be all right, man. Man, one time down there in Dallas, man, me and Kerry, it'd be all good, man.
That's it's that every problem you had that you took to mom or dad's like, well, I bet your lips didn't even move. I did that. Probably got what was coming to you. Get on out.
That's every episode of Michael H.R. Hayes.
I'm glad it happened to you. I'd have done it myself.
By golly, do you know what would be going on if Terry Gordy was in this season? He'd tell you stories about Terry Gordy beating you up for coming to the complaints.
I hate to interrupt. I think you meant to do it, and I'm glad it happened to you. I wish I'd have been there to do it myself.
That's right.
Come here for a second.
What I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna go pull them tapes and I'm gonna see, because I want to see. I want to see you get smacked around because you deserve it.
All right. Good. Bye.
I did. Man, I don't know what else has gone on this week.
You sitting down here in my office. Why are you talking?
Why'd you come here to me?
What?
I really don't know what else is going on. I'm watching the basketball playoffs, and I'm watching the Stanley Cup final, which is awesome. They're both my I guess I should look it up and see before I get talking about it, man, because the Heat actually had the opportunity to advance, and I don't know if they did or not, but they were up the last score I saw. But man, that's a fun team, dude. It's weird. It's weird, man, because I don't understand why. Well, I think I understand why, but it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't be discussing, if you're a journalist and you want to get ahead of the story. Here's the story, man. If the Nuggets beat the Lakers, especially now with the math, man, if the Nuggets beat, that's the whole thing is, they were whining about that today about, well, nobody wants to see the Nuggets in the NBA Finals. First time in history a team will have come from 3-1 down 3 times to make the final, but you think that won't sell.
Yeah.
And the problem with the NBA Finals, this is the ESPN's problem, period, and FS1 too, because Skip Bayless has to talk about it. Y'all get no money off of that. The NBA Finals are everything y'all pretend the Super Bowl is.
Mm-hmm.
People going to watch. People going to watch the NBA Finals. I'm not missing. I don't give a damn who's in it. I will watch anybody. But if the Nuggets make the final, that's an unbelievable story. And Jamal Murray has become an absolute star, and Jokic will get you the international audience. So, man, sucks, doesn't it? Yeah. But let's say that the most likely scenario plays out, and the Lakers make the final. All right, Lakers are in the final. They are either playing Boston, which Lakers Celtics kind of sells itself, or it's LeBron versus the Heat. So why they're acting like there's no story here, I don't understand. I'm like, all right, if you say so, man, but that's going to be, God, it's been so much fun anyway, man. Yeah. Between Tyler Hero going crazy the other day, Jay Crowder, Villa Rica, Georgia's own Jay Crowder. Just, man, I love that guy anyway. I've enjoyed watching that dude. Man, it's strange, but that guy has got to be just the heart of that locker room. He has to be, because, man, he's so, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain because he's not like the general. Jimmy Butler's the general. But if you've got, like, good cop, bad cop of the locker room, I think it's those two guys. And I think that they appreciate it. And it's hard to say Jimmy Butler's a bad cop, because I think Jimmy Butler gets portrayed a particular way the 4 times they talk about him. Because, oh, man, they ran him out of Minnesota because he was mean to Karl Anthony Towns. Well, that story they try to tell you about him in Minnesota with Karl Anthony Towns is actually what happened in Philly with Joel Embiid. But we love Joel Embiid. He's in all the commercials, and he's so cool. So they don't want to come out and say he's soft. Had no problem throwing Cat under the bus because it was just like, apparently it was just what we wanted to do that week.
Mm-hmm.
But Embiid, as I've said, this is my hang up with Joel Embiid. All that kid cares about is being famous. And with all of this, LeBron's got 3 rings and he's going to get a 4th one, but it won't count because of COVID. Here's an asterisk. It's like, all right, man, you telling me Rajon Rondo, well, he's got a ring. Yeah, he does. So if championship rings matter, and I think they do, why is it okay for Embiid to languish and not do anything and run Jimmy Butler out of town? That's the best chance you had, brother. But they got rid of Robert Covington, and then they got rid of Jimmy Butler, and it's like, this guy doesn't care anything about winning. He just wants to be famous, and as long as ESPN consistently kisses his ass like they do, he's okay with that. Anyway, I'm sorry to be talking about Philly. They're not even in the damn playoff. But the point being that Jay Crowder has been that Miami team is awesome anyway, and it's tricky because it really, once it got down to the Heat and the Celtics, I knew I was going to love this series because whichever way it goes, I'm all right. There's guys on both teams I like. I love both. I shouldn't say I like Brad Stevens. I love Eric Spoelstra. So the coaches are cool. You got Pat Riley in the front office in Miami. Of course, I'm going to pull for that. And that might be what's going on in the series. Might be why the Heat wins is, when does Boston ever beat Pat Riley?
Yeah.
It's been exciting. Just basketball's so cool. Anyway, I just love it. That's my game. But man, these series are fun, both of them. And it's weird with them being 3-1. They're a lot cut. Lakers Nuggets might not be that close. Game 3 was, but man, Heat. I think it was Kornheiser, and I kill Mike and Tony because those guys drive me nuts. But this was a cool little piece of information. Excluding tonight, before tonight. Each one of those teams has scored 441 points in the series. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. What a cool stat, man. It's like they are really like tooth and nail, but it's been fun, dude. Excuse me.
Man.
Sorry.
The only sports I've been keeping up with pretty religiously this year's been watching the Braves, and tonight they secured the 2 seed. Only thing that has me nervous about that is the way it looks. Is they'll probably end up playing the Reds, and it's like, oh crap, the team nobody wants to play right now. But we'll see.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Baseball, I'm with you. Part of it's 100% bias, and it's just that, man, our team is good, man. Baseball's so fun anyway. I just love the game, but boy, Atlanta's good, man. So I'm with you. It's hard to not watch them. Unfortunately, right now, with everything happening all at the same time, I'm like, NBA Finals take priority, and then I got to watch I don't have to watch the Stanley Cup Finals, but I just love to. I try to watch as much of the playoff as I can. Not a good hockey fan because I don't follow during the regular season. I pretty much watch hockey the same way I watch professional football, man. Well, I guess I got to take that back now. It was always the nice theory is like, oh, yeah, just, you'll catch up with the NFL in the postseason. But, man, I find myself most Sundays looking at it like, oh, what's going on over here? Yeah. So I guess I follow it closer than I want to. But it's cool because
I don't care as much until then.
That's the thing. That's the big positive thing. And it's really – it's true about the Hawks, except I do genuinely love the Hawks. But the thing with the NFL is there's no emotion in it at all. It's thrilling and it's exciting, but I don't get ill if people lose. It's not a problem. It's like, oh, this is okay, especially since Brady and Belichick are broken up now. Because I do the anti-skip thing apparently because I always side with the coaches. I like Phil better than Mike. I like Belichick better than Brady. I just think that's cool, man. And I guess it's from being a college fan because the whole deal is when you have like sustained success in college, it's got to be the coach because the players it's built in that they're in, they're out. Anyway, sorry.
Bill Belichick has had going on 20 years now of showing people how, or he didn't show people how, but his MO and track record is, I'll take that guy off the scrap heap that nobody wants. And people thought he had forgotten how to do that when Tom Brady left. It's like, no, I'm still going to be doing that.
Seriously, he is like, for offense, he is the retread king, man. It's all good. And what he's done with his defense is, it kind of reminds me, it's a little bit different because we never discussed Patriots defense because it's all Tommy all the time, but Belichick's a hell of an X and O guy for defense. And Pete Carroll is too, but we've talked about it with Pete Carroll where I understand what happened to the Legion of Boom, man. Whenever you give Russell Wilson a contract like that,
That's
When
the
you
writing
give
on the wall.
when you give a quarterback that contract, you have a decision to make. You're either going to keep your team together or you're going to pay your quarterback. That's okay. Everybody makes that deal, and they chose Russell Wilson. Not a bad decision, especially with your faith in Pete Carroll to be able to rebuild the defense, and he freaking did. It's like, whoa, man, that's very impressive because absolutely none of those guys were still around. It's like, look at these guys. That's cool. I love Pete, man. I think Pete's cool because the iconoclastic football coach who's not just a complete jackass drill sergeant dickhead. I just think that's funny. I think that's real cool, man. So I like to see Seattle do well. Excuse me. And I like Belichick doing it. It's weird. My thing with Belichick was strange, man, because it was a personal story that turned me on to that guy. I mean, he's obviously been a very good coach for a long time, but it's when I found out what the freaking hoodie with the sleeves chopped off was actually about. I just figured it because it was comfortable.
Yeah.
It turns out, I did not know this. It turns out that Bill Belichick, you always want to say Brian Billick, that dickhead that rode Ray Lewis to a championship.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick apparently is quite the clothes jockey. That guy likes to dress. He is a big, big fan of looking real, real good and real, real svelte and real, real tight. And he wanted to go 100% Tom Landry on the sidelines. And I don't know who it
Can't
was.
have that.
Oh, yeah, because the league is like, no, it has to be merchandise. It has to be officially licensed merchandise from the league. And he's like, okay. So he dresses like the biggest pig he can. That's the whole point. It was all, oh, yeah, I'm chopping the crap out of this, and I'm wearing this junk. And I'm like, dude, go on, man. That's awesome. I thought that was, for some reason, when I found that out, it made me like him even more. I'm like, go on then, man, because the NFL is just, they are such trash. That is a trash corporation like most corporations are. So anybody that's that successful within the framework that can kind of sock it to them in any way you can. Good job, buddy.
They won't let me use all of this that God gave me.
Yeah,
so what I'm going to do is, and they won't let me actually smear poo-poo all over it, but I'm going to make it look like it did.
That's right. I'm going to make them wish I had.
Next question.
Tom Brady was intimidated by all this, and he didn't want me putting the exclamation points of dressing well on it, so there's that.
Fuck that guy.
Got to focus on next week's game.
Screw that Percy.
Yeah, for real. Tom Brady.
It's getting a little late for me.
Tom Brady. Go back to the 90s. That clip showed up in my suggestions on YouTube the other day, and it's a perfect example. You can't explain to people that the line is not what's funny. It's like how the hell they made the decision to deliver it the way they did. That's what's so funny about it. It's like, whose idea was it to say it that way? And good for you, because that's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, brother. I don't remember what I was so excited about the Revival being the tag team champion, being the TV champions, that I think that was about it. It is good. I can't believe it's been a long time since I mentioned basketball, but I take some nights off. That's why I love baseball so much, because baseball, you can take nights off. You don't have to sit and watch it all the time. It's waiting for you. It's your buddy. It's your buddy.
Yeah. Be here when you're ready for me.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, man. It's cool. Baseball's that bud. You can just pick up the phone and talk, and it's like you took no time off. It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Excuse me. And thanks again for doing this tonight, man. I'm not going to be here for our normal recording schedule, so the man put me up and bumped us forward.
Oh, man, that's cool. We get it down with the telephone and the Skype calling. But what was your opinion on the Kill Bill video?
Oh, yes. I completely forgot about it. I knew there was something else we were supposed to talk about. I watched the Angry Video Game Nerds Kill Bill cut. And the man suggested it to all of us last week, so I looked at it. The video itself, we'll get to the opinion in a moment, but the video itself, the way he lays it out and does his timeline, considering he can't just put it on YouTube, it was great. I thought it was very, very good the way he was explaining, this is what I would do, and this would be here, and this will work. It'll work. It was cool, man. I can hit...
It lays it out really well, and if you've seen both movies, you can kind of picture it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to mention seeing both movies because that was my one thing about it is that um to cut the two movies into one movie after the fact, it works. To cut the two movies into one movie that will replace the two movies, it doesn't. And the thing about
Mhm.
saying it doesn't is that's not me, that's him. He says that he doesn't say it that way, but where he's talking about, oh man, you have the big fight scene with Oren Ishii and it's so amazing and you're so high and la di da, and then you start part two and it's all this talking and just following up that emotional impact with so much slow stuff. It kind of doesn't work, but it does work because
Mhm.
then when he got to the final act of his own cut, and he's like, man, I'm kind of messed up now because she shows up and we get the reveal that her daughter's still alive. And so, oh man, now you kind of got to extend this third act too. And I'm like, yes, you do. It's why there were two third acts, brother. Now you figured out why they made two movies to begin with, man. But
Mhm.
I thought that he had that one scene where he was so proud of his cut of what with her leaving L with
I
the
was
music.
I
And
didn't like it as much as he did, but
I love it because it's the music from the second scene. That's
mhm.
how it got it right because it's the same thing for that.
Mhm.
Um, it worked. It was really cool.
Yeah,
I liked it, but
yeah.
I was expecting the big airplane flying into Japan,
Mhm.
and I kind of wish we would have got that. But it works because it's like, well, yeah, okay, crazy 88s. The only thing I didn't like about it was that that's the second time you've used it in less than an hour, and I don't like when movies use songs over and over again,
Mhm.
especially that early.
Yeah.
If you're going to use a song more than once, it's supposed to signal a shift. It's like
Mhm.
that's why your overture is your overture because it gives you
Mhm.
all the cues for the musical stuff that you're going to hear for the rest of the show that means something.
Mhm.
So doing it twice in less than an hour, that's a bit excessive. So my
Mhm.
suggestion would be just pick something else for the opening credits.
Mhm.
I know you really dug that, but pick
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
Um, doing it talking about doing things out of order on the timeline, there's really no need to do that because it's pretty straightforward with the way he went with it. What was the only other thing? There was one thing in it that I really liked, and there was something in it that I wasn't wild about. But I did. I appreciated him basically. He didn't admit it, but he basically admitted, oh, yeah, you need two endings for this movie. Yeah, you do. Because if
Mhm.
you want that big orgasmic, oh, Beastie Boys, because of the fight
Yeah.
scene, you can't have Oren be last. And you
Mhm.
can't have Oren's dead, now let's go kill Bill. Nah, man. And it's cool. Like, because again, to be fair to him, that's exactly what he's saying is like, oh, yeah, you need more stuff. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know how.
The fact that Beatrice sat down and made her kill list, uh, I don't think she necessarily intended. Well, it has to be in this order, or it doesn't count. You know, so
I
that's
disagreed with taking that
yeah,
out too. I didn't think
yeah,
that mattered, and I thought having Oren at the top. Ugh, sorry, it's in the movie that Oren's at the top. That she dies at the end, doesn't she?
hmm
Okay.
yeah,
Sorry, my lips giving me crap. But yeah, all that was fine. But I didn't think that had to go. Some of the
hmm
stuff that was trimmed from the second one, I was okay with.
hmm
I guess the biggest problem that I had with the cut, and this is why I say, if you've seen both movies, it'll work. But if you want this to be one movie, she's in the ground, buried alive, 45 minutes into it, and you think anyone is supposed to believe she's not getting out.
yeah,
That
yeah,
I thought that was the one thing that I thought was a mistake. Is like, dude, you just started this thing, man. So
hmm
I didn't think that worked, and the using the song twice irked me a little bit. But I did like this cut. I thought that was really pretty and quite cool. But at the same time, it's mean, but it's the truth. You didn't really cut much of anything there. You
hmm
overlaid that song into a scene it's not in, but into a scene that it is in. So when you get the
hmm
slow motion crazy 88s, God, they're so cool. It's like, dude, that's exactly what was in the movie, man.
hmm
Anyway, on the subject of things you can cut, tell me what happens to Go-Go. Because in my opinion, Go-Go could go right on the floor, man. That was the most
yeah,
useless character in the world. It was just stupid and ridiculous, and it's just the schoolboy fetish garbage with samurai weapons. Like, yeah, that can go. If you want to save some
hmm
time, save some time. That's crap.
hmm
And it's just more of the same with, yeah, use the color footage from the Japanese version. No, 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 no. The black. I like the black and white way better because then you get
yeah,
the it blinks and it's like no, that's just cool. It's not
yeah,
necessary, but it was cool. I liked it. But ultimately, I guess what we're all building up to is the end. I didn't like the end. And the only reason I didn't like the end is because it's like, oh yeah, Vernita Green's daughter's going to grow up and kill her. Everybody has been prognosticating on that forever. That's been everybody's thing. So it's all like, okay, so you want a cliffhanger ending for a sequel. Don't do that. You just chop the thing down to 2 hours because it's too long, but then you want a cliffhanger ending. That didn't work for me very much at all. It just felt, I guess, considering what the actual ending of part 1 was and what the actual ending of part 2 was, it's so cheap. It's just very much writing your last chapter and ending your book ... That part I didn't care for because I thought it was so much cooler to do it so early in the first one. And then when you hear from Quentin, like, oh yeah, if we could, Vernita Green's kid could grow up and go kill her, it's like, that just felt cooler. Whereas if you put it in that order, it's like, oh yeah, you have to do this now. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it just, I don't know, it felt a little too. Remember in the 90s when everybody was doing Tarantino knockoffs?
Yeah.
The guy doing the Tarantino knockoff would come up with that ending, but the guy himself wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. But there were cool things in it, and I'm with you. I don't know. I guess my ultimate thing is I just like it so much the way it is. And also, like we said, man, if you go chopping it, 2 is going to be the one that takes the bulk of the cuts. And I hate that because I love the second one, man.
Yeah.
And my other thing also is we got to get to O-Ren because that's the best fight scene. L's last for a reason. L's the last one in that story for a reason. And it's because L's the one you hate. With all the stuff you cut out, you don't give people enough time to hate L. You need that because it's like, oh, Ren's kind of cool. That fight scene has a different ending. It's a better scene and it's a cooler scene, but it's nowhere near as satisfying as Daryl Hannah flopping around that trailer, losing her mind, and hopefully getting eaten by her snake. That's what we all want.
Yeah,
it's stupid, but that was the stuff that jumped out at me. Is like, if he just said, hey, man, this is me putting Kill Bill in order and chopping out the stuff I don't like, that would work. But,
yeah, man, it's a cool little watch. I think
it's fun to hear people prognosticate. I dig it. I like it. But it's just, I guess my problem with it was, I've said what my problem with it is, but I think ultimately my problem is just present it as a fun. This is what I would want to do. And he got a little too critical for my taste. It's all, hold up now. Ain't nobody asking you to fix the thing. I'm just watching this to see what your opinion is, but don't be telling me why it's better than Tarantino's, dude. Stop. That's just, maybe I missed that. Maybe I read too much into that, but that's what I got. But I told the man what happens is anytime I get over at Cinemassacre, I always wind up watching old Angry Nintendo Nerd videos. And I watched Karate Kid. And then I watched Silver Surfer because Silver Surfer was a very, very difficult game. And then there's this one video of him and 2 of his buddies playing. And we've talked about it before, man, where James by himself I really enjoy, but a lot of the Cinemassacre crew I do not care for.
Yeah.
But this guy, I can't remember his freaking name for nothing, but he's got a guy that apparently is like the guy when it comes to beating difficult games. And he sits there and beats Silver Surfer. It's unreal, but it's crazy. It's insane how intense it is, man, because even this guy who's the master at beating the game gets caught on a couple of parts where he just keeps dying. And if you watch it and you get into it, like I got like tense and was like, so I couldn't wait to see him beat it, man. It was really cool, man.
Yeah. That's always been the big part of the fun of whether it's James or I think Mike's the guy that's usually will do some of the videos on his own on that channel, and they're both really good at playing the stuff. They're good at giving a review, and they're good at playing the game, man. That's part of the fun of watching too. It's like they're good at it.
Dude, man, it's insane, dude, and it's funny too because for like you're talking about, for the sake of comparison, when they turn Silver Surfer on, James plays a couple of times, and then he doesn't get like mad Nintendo nerd frustrated, but he's just like, man, I'm done with this. And I think it is Mike plays a couple of times, and they both just get smeared because you've played the game, you know how hard it is, and it's like they literally get smeared to then set up for this dude to come in and do his thing. He does really good for about 3 levels, and don't get me wrong, he beat it. He eventually beat it, but man, you like jump up out the chair and get all excited because it's like, oh my god, I didn't think it would ever happen. And it really is stupid that you're trying to put that stupid thing together. But Silver Surfer has a cheat code. It's got an invisibility code. I know because I used it when I was a kid because I wanted to see how it ended. But I could never even play that thing without. I had to have the invincibility code. I couldn't do anything on there without it, man. So it's like I can't believe you got this thing to turn on. That's a step further than I ever got.
Yeah, man. That's definitely one of those games. It's just like, man, I just get my fill of it really quick. It's like, man, forget this.
it was cruddy, man. But also on the Nintendo nerd version of the review, man, it's hilarious him talking about that like scene of him all like stretched out on the board. And he's like, God, this is the most perfect visual representation of this game ever because that's how depressed it makes you feel if you keep playing it.
Iron defeated and given up.
Seriously, man.
The Silver Surfer is on the ground like, F my life.
Dude, for real. Oh, God. Oh, God.
I don't want this board anymore.
I hate the power cosmic.
It's dumb.
Stupid. Somebody left a comment that was quite for the end of that game is awesome because you get to the end and beat the last guy and they're all three of them are like, man, I can't believe it's not Galactus. That's interesting. It's not Galactus. And what happens is as soon as you put the little piece of crap, whatever it is you're trying to get together, Galactus shows up and he's like, thank you, Surfer. I'll be taking that. And the Surfer's like, nuh-uh. And that's the end of it.
Yeah. Oi.
Galactus shows, okay. The end.
Galactus shows up. It's like, I want that dude.
Yeah, seriously, man.
You think you beat this game? I want that, brother.
That would be awesome. It'd be interesting because that's what I was thinking. Is like, man, don't tell me you got to fight Galactus now, man. But that'd be nuts if you beat this whole impossible piece of crap game for Galactus to show up and you're like, here, horsey, and he just runs off and blows up a planet with it or whatever, man. You have helped Galactus murder millions. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Murderer. Congratulations, murderer.
Look what you did.
Lines. It's probably his second best line in any movie he's been in. We were discussing it earlier that it's amazing. Yep. I don't remember that cat's name. It's Michael something, I think.
Chris McDonald.
Chris, that's it.
Is the actor's name. Yeah.
Man, between Congratulations, Murderer, and there's lots in that movie, but I swear to God, dude, he should not be as hilarious in Thelma and Louise as he is. Yeah. But Daryl is that character. He is so hilarious. Either tripping on those boards in the beginning of the movie, or his very first line of the movie is hilarious, man. Where he's sitting there combing his damn hair, and Gina Davis is all like, Daryl, his first line of the movie is, what? He sits there for a second. It's like, what a dick, man. But you got to keep her on the phone so we can trace the call. Picks up the phone. It's like, Daryl, it's me. Thelma, hello. It's like the funniest line in any movie ever. Like, how in the world did he get that out, man? It's great. Thelma, hello.
It's whoever's on the other end, it's like doing the Terminator 2. Your parents are dead.
Dude, seriously. Oh, that'd be great. Man, we should cut Thelma and Louise and T2 together.
Yeah. How's Wolfie? Wolfie's fine. They're dead.
The foster parents are dead.
You're the one that beat the Silver Surfer game. I don't know why you're bitching at me about it.
No, I didn't do anything wrong, man.
They wanted to upset Space Continuum and built Skynet and killed your dog and Thelma and Louise. Thelma and Louise.
You're the one that was hanging out with Bobby Budnick listening to Guns N' Roses. You had a perfect life, and then all of a sudden, you built a freaking dehumidifier for Galactus, and now look what you've done.
And you fuck up.
For real, man. You ruined it, damn it.
It was me. It was me, Austin.
Lord.
Excuse me. Dude, is Mike Tyson actually gonna come back and not die?
I guess it depends. If I'm less concerned. The fight I've heard they're doing, I'm less concerned.
If he's actually gonna think that he's gonna get in the ring with Roy Jones, and even Roy being the age he is, and might be in the age he is, I'm like, maybe actually boxing a shark for Shark Week wasn't such a terrible idea. Maybe you'd have a better chance doing that.
Oh, man, the thing about Roy, and I love me some Roy. Roy Jones is an incredible boxer. But Roy Jones also has a tendency to get knocked out, and that's against guys that are a lot smaller than Mike Tyson. So I don't know if I don't like this idea anyway. I'm not wild about seeing either one of these dudes box anymore.
It seems like just a show, and I think it's Mike's promotion putting it together. But so it'll sell some buys.
Yeah, man, it feels like Pacquiao McGregor to me, and I mean that. So apparently somebody's trying to get that going, and I'm like, oh my god, because it's going to be Pacquiao McGregor, but Roy Jones, I'm sorry, Floyd Mayweather wouldn't get in the octagon, and Manny Pacquiao will. Yes, because Roy's the star and Manny's the pauper. That's exactly what's going on there, man. It's pitiful. Oh my god.
One has to do it. The other one could if he wanted to, but it's never going to do it.
Nah, you're going to have to come up with more money than anybody's ever seen because there's no need. Oh, he get killed? Sure. Then that's the whole thing. It's not that Conor McGregor would beat Floyd Mayweather in an MMA fight. It's that he fucking well better. It's like we talked about with Rousey, because that's where all this came from anyway, and that little leprechaun should give her a cut of that money because nobody would be talking about this. If we didn't get started on, well, I bet Ronda Rousey could beat up Floyd Mayweather in an MMA fight. Again, she better. That's the whole point. It's the whole point. It's like, well, Conor McGregor fought a lot better than people thought he would, and y'all still suck his cock over it. So what do you think is going to happen if Floyd Mayweather gets in the ring and beats Ronda Rousey? Beats Conor McGregor. Oh my God. So y'all talking junk about a guy showing up and doing well. That has quieted a lot more now that people found out that contract was a real thing. So we don't talk about that. It's funny. Contracts are interesting things, man, because he had the whole Skip Bayless with the whole, I never said Kawhi Leonard was the best player on earth. I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth. And Shannon Sharp is doing the thing he has to do where he's like, all right, internet, do your thing. The frustrating thing about internet, do your thing is tell the idiots in the production trailer to cut the thing together for you. They got access to every clip in the history of the show. Now, why does that not make the show? It's on YouTube right now. But why doesn't that make the show? Because it's in Skip's contract that nobody gets to water pistol Pete him. That's it. Jalen Rose, he's still, oh boy, he is still red-assed over that. He's still so angry about that. It's in his contract. He's got that, what's his name? Ashton Kutcher immunity. Where you don't get to punk me. If you punk me, I'll sue you. I mean, that's literally, Kutcher had that in his contract. And it's the same. It's the same thing with Bayless, man. Well, maybe not for long, because that was the thing. Not too long ago, they had Best Behavior Day at Fox, and it was all like, man, this show is so much more enjoyable when they actually just discuss things. And people are right, it is. When they're just having a conversation, it's kind of nice. But I'm like, man, Skip knows that he stepped in it with the Dak Prescott stuff. Not that he's going to get fired, just that his contract apparently is up about a week from now, into September. So if you think Fox isn't going to cost you, basically it's like, yeah, they're going to save every dime they can because, oh man, these controversial remarks about Dak Prescott, that's no good, Skip. It's no good. And it's like they don't have any interest in firing him. They just want to rehire him for way cheaper than they currently pay him. I'm like, dude, you idiot. And so I'm supposed to be controversial. Yeah, until your contract's up, dummy. What an idiot, man. But it's like, yeah, he's trying to be nice guy now, man, because, oh, man, they're going to get rid of Skip Bayless. Oh, my God. We would all be so much worse off.
What am I going to do?
Yeah, I want him to be on the air now, man, because I'd love to get the details of that pay cut. I think that'd be hilarious.
HRPSA's just like, well, good.
Well, where's your off, boy?
Go get.
Go get. Excuse me. I think I've ticked off the boxes. I haven't watched anything. I haven't done anything, man. I'm sorry to say.
I've been doing my usual thing of nothing.
Yeah, man, me too, man. Just hanging out and doing nothing. That about covers it.
I do love it, so.
Yeah, I like not having anything to do. I got a copy of Neverwhere, Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere, because I don't know, man. It's weird when
It's funky.
Yeah, when I was reading that book, I just was reminded of how much I love having a book to read. So
Hmm.
I went and got Neverwhere, and I've started. I'm only like a couple of chapters in, but it's cool. I can dig it, man.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like his stuff. So sorry. Uh,
I I know I
I,
saw the show. I saw the BBC version of it, and I never read the actual book. But I remember bits and pieces of it. But I remember, you know, ha- having a good time watching it. You know.
yeah, it's interesting, man, because apparently the TV show was first. It's kind of
Okay.
cool. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Like apparently he was hired by them to do the TV show, and then stuff just kept getting cut out. So he's like, "I'll do a novelization." So I'm like, "That's cool, man. Check that out. It'll be all right."
Rock and
But
roll.
I'm just trying to. I guess I'm trying to talk myself out of restarting Sandman. My thing with Sandman though is I only have like the massive ones, so I need to get a couple of. This is stupid, but I need to get a couple of paperbacks so that way I can throw them in the car and just tote them around
Uh,
easily. Because there's a couple of those.
Easier,
Oh
easier
yeah,
to travel with.
yeah, man. It's a couple of those I just like reading over and over again. So it's like, I mean, the series is cool. I was glad I read the whole thing, but man, you get to book 4 and 5, man. It's like, oh my god, they are so good, man.
Heck yeah, man.
Shall we do that? Yeah, by God. I tell you what, that's weird though, because like as far as Neil for TV, I haven't seen any of them, man. I didn't watch Lucifer because I didn't care. I haven't seen Good Omens because I don't have Amazon. I didn't see American Gods. It's like, man, this
Uh,
dude is like everywhere, and I haven't seen any of this stuff. What's wrong with me?
man, I remember I definitely checked out Stardust and dug the crap out of it enough to it made me want to see some of his other stuff. I just haven't got around to it.
The same way. It's bizarre, man, when you start rattling off all the things that dude's done. It's like, and it's cool too because he's got at least two. I don't know if that might not be right. I was going to say two massive movies, but that might not be right. Stardust is probably not massive, but it's excellent. I think it's one of those ones that
It is to me, not to everybody else.
everybody that's seen it loves it.
Yeah,
It's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, man, to the people that have actually seen it, they know how good it is.
it's one of those movies that if anybody I know that mentions enjoying The Princess Bride, I'm like, I've got something you might like.
Gotta watch Stardust, man,
Yeah,
totally. But
yeah.
yeah, it's like for TV, just talking about there's American Gods, there is Good Omens. For movies, you've got Stardust and Coraline. For
Mm-hmm.
books, you've got all the 10,000 books he's written, and that's not even the comic book stuff. Sandman is, for those of us that got into him with Sandman, I think that will always be the first thing we think of. But he's written stuff, man. Graveyard Book was massive. Um, I think it's Ocean at the End of the Lane. I can't even remember now. It's unbelievable. I just got thinking the other day. I'm like, holy crap, man, this dude's everywhere. And I ain't even done the TV show Sandman yet, but I hold out hope that it's coming. I think it is. I'm pretty sure that I don't know. It's hard to keep straight because God, there's rumors everywhere about it. But I hope it'll happen.
So the last I heard, it's definitely going down now. Is there's like I think there's a version of like what would be, I guess you could call it like a radio production of Sandman on Audible.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're doing all of it or just doing the first volume, see how it goes, and try to build from there. But that's the last thing I heard for sure. For sure is going down.
oh
So
yeah, I've seen all the little banners advertising it, and it got me excited because I'm like, hey man, do you want to sign a deal with Amazon, man? They do TV shows too, so this will work. I love it.
yeah, if,
Anybody that
if
wants to,
anybody will, they will.
yeah, it's cool. I'm excited about it, man, because it's one of those things where apparently what happened with Neil and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is that it's just can't do a movie, can't do a movie, which it's weird. The way that story's presented now irks me a little bit because it's all like, man, Joe's a nice guy, I really like that guy, but we just had disagreements over the production. I'm like, if the disagreement over the production is making it a movie instead of a TV show, how did you not know he was going to make it into a movie when you signed on to do the movie? See what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I love
yeah.
Neil, man, but I just don't. I think that story just doesn't feel like I'm hearing everything.
Something's getting lost in the translation on that one,
Yeah,
or the whole story's not being told
I
some
agree.
kind of way.
And I do completely agree. It needs to be a TV show because you could now, oh my God, you could never condense that thing. It's like we're remaking Dune. learn the lessons of Dune. And I'm sure they
Yeah.
will. I'm sure that the movie version, the new version of Dune is not going to be like the old movie. It's going to be, okay, let's start this thing and then we'll see if we got a series going forward. That's great. That's going to be really cool, man.
Let's ride on from what little bits of it I've seen, but it's I'm just that's just like my main thing now is like, man, just if I'll look at some steals, but as far as like seeing a trailer this early, I'm like, I'll see it when when it's closer to actually being released.
I'm with you. My thing with that is I saw it was just some little banner on something that said they were doing it. And I'm with you. That's all I needed to know. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was TV. And then I saw like this little thing that had mentioned some cast members, and I'm like, okay, that's a movie because you're not getting those people.
They've got some bangers in there.
Oh yeah, it's like you're not getting those people in a TV show. So okay,
Yeah. Heck yeah. It's like Jason Momoa, Oscar Isaac. The Baron's being played by Skarsgård, and other people that I'm forgetting that Batista's in it. So I'm like,
yeah.
hey, I can get behind that.
I can get behind that. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I love that Batista is getting so much work in Hollywood. I love it. I think that's so cool, man.
Heck
I
yeah.
love that dude, so I'm happy.
Yep. Heck yeah, man.
That's how we do it. By gum.
That's what's up, man.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you for watching, y'all. Appreciate it.
You be cool. Bye.